And welcome. That was Feeling Fine by Grady Spencer and the Work. And this is the Giant World of Baseball podcast, a podcast about international baseball and sometimes the San Francisco Giants. I'm your host, the Frilled Shark, or Jacob, if you please. In this episode, I'm privileged to be joined by my friends Jeff Duda and Darian to do a deep dive into Pool B of the 2026 World Baseball Classic. How's it going, guys? Jeff, I mean, I just saw you not too long ago, but you know.
It's pretty good. Nothing but positive news about WBC lately, so it's building momentum.
Darian, what about you?
Doing all right. We're doing all right in a variety of different factors, and looking forward to the WBC despite its best efforts to make us not look forward to it.
Yeah, right. um, anyways, yeah, let's just get right into it. And we're going to be talking about Pool B today in Houston, Texas. In this pool, we've got Brazil, Great Britain, Italy, Mexico, and the United States. This is the pool I almost attended, but then I still just decided to go with Puerto Rico, so I'm still going to Puerto Rico. In terms of like the actual mixture of teams, I think this one was like maybe the most interesting to me personally, but I didn't really want to spend a week of my life in Houston, Texas on vacation. Um, so, you know, anyways, Darian, why don't we start with you? Do you have like any initial thoughts on this pool, or like were you watching the roster reveals for this pool?
I was. It's hard to say pool itself because more or less it just turns into a two-horse race and who survives at the
Mhm.
bottom of it. You got to look and say that like United States and Mexico are probably the two heaviest hitters in the group. And then I would probably say Italy's gunning for that third spot just because they've got the most comprehensive background in the tournament itself. And then we've got the two or like the other two smaller nations like Great Britain and Brazil, like bringing up the rear. And with the light rosters that they've got, I would assume they'll probably be on that bottom half.
Yeah, yeah. Jeff, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this pool when it came out, I thought it was really interesting. I was just like, I feel like there's like this weird like mindset of like, oh, the US like is just getting like a super easy pool so they can advance. I mean, they are the clear best team, but I thought on paper Mexico and Italy could be really interesting. They just losing players. Like that's honestly like kind of the bummer is Mexico could have had a pretty good roster, and Italy lost Ercolani now, which stinks for them. But they have a pretty good roster. Honestly, some good major leaguers and some good prospects. So they're interesting. It's just you have Brazil, who's like they're gonna fight with Great Britain for to just try to stay in the tournament, but they I think there's a bit of a drop off there, kind of the final two spots. So I feel like it's just like a three-team race, but I uh I feel like Italy and Mexico are still going to be pretty competitive. So
Yeah.
I think that can still be a pretty fun game. It's but I think this is kind of the one pool where the favorite I would be honestly shocked if they lost the game. And it's just because the talent level is so much higher this time around with the US. Like they have really good pitching staff. I think probably the best offense, but it's close with the Dominican Republic. So I mean, I would be surprised if they lost the game just because they're pretty stacked. But the race for second is going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, yeah. I think, I mean, I would be kind of shocked if the US lost a game, but at the same time, I kind of wouldn't because to me, I look at Italy and I see a team that like, they're probably, let's be real, they're probably not going to start their best pitcher against the United States. Um, but if they did start Aaron Nola versus the United States, they could field like basically an entirely MLB lineup and an entirely MLB pitching, and then you know starting pitcher and then rotation. And you know, all MLB versus all MLB, the Rockies still win games, like bad teams relatively to good teams in MLB still win games because that's just how baseball is. So, I could see a world where Italy beats the USA. But again, if they don't start Nola against them, which they probably won't, like probably less of a chance of that happening, but you never know. And yeah, I mean, I was I was definitely disappointed by the composition of the Italian roster. My potential roster, I want to say I had like 30 to 40% of the team being Italian born. And in my mind, I don't think the team that I came up with on paper was like marketedly mark I don't think it was that much worse, if at all, to the team that Italy's throwing out there. Um, Maybe a little bit, but yeah, that was a bit of a disappointment. And then Mexico, I'm interested to hear your guys' thoughts on them because I'm less familiar with Mexican baseball, um, and the team they put together, even though they've lost a bunch of guys.
I think Mexico, the Alexander Armenta selection like just came out of left field. I was just like a minor leaguer and NPB like almost never gets considered
Hmm.
by one of these national teams for the WBC. So when it first came out of Japan that he was going to play, I was just like, what is happening here? Like because they had never mentioned him at all really as a like potential candidate. Like Benji Hill hadn't really said anything about him, and then he was like, oh yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we're selecting him. Like, oh okay, like it was interesting. I mean, he throws pretty hard. I think 97, 96, 97 in that range. So he's a hard thrower, but very like inexperienced as far as like facing like big league talent and like the top NPB talent, those type of caliber hitters. So I was really kind of taken aback by that selection, but it's also like, you know, just crazy enough it might work because none of these hitters have ever seen him before.
Yeah.
So that was interesting, but yeah, I mean, I think Mexico's roster is very like they could be pretty good defensively. Like with Joey Ortiz at shortstop, and Alejandro Kirk behind the plates, one of the best defensive catchers, maybe the best in baseball. And so I feel like they're going to be really dependent on defense, and then they need like Jonathan Aranda and Randy Rosarina to kind of provide the power because they
Mhm.
have a lot of hitters that aren't necessarily like high end, hitters that are more defense and speed kind of based.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are good points, and we'll get into that more, I guess, with Mexico's roster. But let's start, I guess, with arguably, I wouldn't say arguably, I would say fairly clearly the worst team in the pool, Brazil, which, again, I always have to say, I don't have anything against Brazilian baseball. In fact, I quite enjoy Brazilian baseball and think it's interesting. And I like many of their players. I just get, you know, accused of not liking Brazilian baseball because I rooted against them in the WBC Qs in 2025. But yeah, Darian, there's a lot of Japanese kind of like affiliated. Well, okay, obviously there are Japanese Brazilian players on this team, but then there are also players on this team who are playing in Japan, in the industrial leagues, in Japanese colleges, and in MPB sort of itself. Do you have any thoughts on any of those kind of guys?
No, no thoughts like individually on guys. I'm looking at the roster now and I'm still not familiar with the names for the most part. I mean, if anything, that's a very cool thing that we'll get to see in this pool are these guys that are from like random assorted like Japanese minor and indie leagues. But I'm not terribly familiar with Brazilian baseball, so I wish them the absolute best.
Yeah, I mean, like Bo Takahashi plays
Oh
for
yeah, Bo, that's right for the
Seibu.
Lions.
Yeah, Bo, as is on his jersey. Um, but Yeah, I mean, like Enzo Sawayama, I believe, plays in the Industrial League in Japan. But Jeff, what do you like? What it's let's be real. It's a very, very similar roster to the qualifier roster. So this is kind of like honestly, it's like basically just like a extended debriefing discussion of like the 2025 World Baseball Classic qualifiers for Brazil, if I'm being totally honest. But like what do you think of when you see this pitching staff and this
Uh,
lineup?
Pitching staff for sure much better than the qualifier one. I think
Okay.
Gabriel Barbosa, Daniel Masaki were definitely missed on that team. But I mean, offensively, it's gonna be pretty similar. Like it's the last tournament for Leonardo Regginato for his career. So it'd be nice to see him kind of go out on a high note. And but there's just not a lot of power in the lineup. It's very station to station and a lot of bunting, a lot of, not like that's the thing about no Bo Bichette. Like Bo Bichette gave them that would have given them an extra dynamic, like guy who can get you extra bases. He can hit it out of the ballpark occasionally. Like a lot of them now, like it's very much a lot of singles hitters. So it when they're facing high level pitching, it's they're going to be overmatched a lot.
Mhm.
But luckily for Brazil, Great Britain doesn't have a lot of high end pitching. So in a matchup against them, like I feel like they can play them pretty tight. And it's just a matter of can they, kind of neutralize like Jazz Chisholm enough to the point where it doesn't kill them. But yeah, I think Brazil, like, they're gonna probably start Thiago da Silva against the U.S. and they're just gonna use him as a sacrificial lamb in that game because I mean, I really want to see Brazilian baseball improve, and I want to see it reach new heights. They're gonna get killed in that game. That's just what it is, because Thiago da Silva he'll trick them for a couple innings when he's throwing like 85 and he's just throwing like 70-mile-per-hour curveballs, and they're just like, okay, we there's not a single pitcher in MLB who throws this slow anymore.
Yeah.
Like, so it'll be an adjustment, kind of like Satoria was against Samurai Japan. But once they kind of adjust, it's gonna be, it'll be tough for Brazil to remain competitive. But I think Great Britain's the game they're shooting for. Like that's the
Mhm.
game they have to win. So that game is gonna be for both teams. They're just gonna have like all hands on deck to try to win that game. But I think Gabriel Barbosa and Daniel Masaki give them more high level caliber arms that they've been lacking. And so I think against like Italy or Mexico, they could probably play them like close for about 4 or 5 innings, kind of make them sweat it a little bit. But I just don't think they have the offense to really make a dent against their pitching staffs. But we've seen honestly worse rosters in the WBC like that are like somewhat competitive. So it wouldn't surprise me if they keep it close with one of those teams. But I think against the U.S., it's you're asking a lot
Mhm.
to try to win a game like that. But um, yeah, I feel like they're the worst team, but not that much worse than Great Britain, just because Great Britain is very like they have high end talents with like Jazz Chisholm, but there's also a substantial drop off as well,
Yeah.
and they just don't have the high level arms that like scare you. But it's it's gonna. I feel like that's one of those games that like it's only for like die hard baseball
Yeah.
where you're just like,
Baseball
man, I can't wait
sickos.
for this Great Britain Brazil game, and they're just like, what?
Why would I ever want to watch that? That sounds
Right?
awful. Yeah, I mean, I I look at like, I look at like the results from the qualifier and like, they did not hit a single home run in the qualifier. And like Lucas Hoju and Leonardo Regginato, they hit decently well, but like,
I think Hoju hit a little bit top of the wall on on one
of
of his on
course,
one of his doubles, or I think it was a triple, but yeah, but they but aside from that, like it was like singles Like they were like Dante Bichette Jr. might have used up every little bit of hitting luck in the
Yeah.
final against Germany. Like
I think I mean I also think that like I feel like their manager Yuichi Matsumoto is like fairly competent. Like I thought he did a pretty good job managing the games and the qualifiers, and then uh like they play a different, very Japanese brand of baseball. Like let's call a spade a spade. And I think that also, you know, with the funky pitchers, but like that's another thing that could maybe catch teams off guard, like like in Italy, like Italy, Mexico, Brazil, or not Brazil, Italy, Mexico, and Great Britain. Maybe they catch them a little flat-footed by just like bunting every single inning or something like that. Maybe they're not like expecting, or maybe they're not like totally ready for it coming out of the gate, and
I
that
just
could help
I just
them.
know Victor Ito is gonna have like he's gonna have a game where he goes like 4 for 4 and none of the hits go outside of the infield. Like it's just gonna be like just bleeders and bunts and he's gonna just like a little chopper that goes like 30 feet. Like it's
Vitor Ito, it's so funny because like he doesn't like he isn't an active player at all. He literally is a translator for
yeah,
Hanshin.
honestly, when you're like, yeah, we're bringing in an interpreter, he's gonna be like starting shortstop. It's like, yeah,
That makes me think of Will Ireton, Kenta Maida's
play for
translator, and
Philippines, didn't he?
yeah, he played for the
Yeah,
Philippines. I'm
yeah.
like, the Philippines are gonna ask him to lace it up in 2028 or whatever. Um, and speaking of lacing it up, Jan Gomes is on the coaching staff, bro. They need
Is
you.
he on the coaching staff? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's the catching coach. It's like,
Right?
dude,
Just put
they
on the gear.
put
Like
on the
just
gear. They
play.
need you. You'd be like their second best hitter, if not their best.
Right?
Um,
Honestly, he didn't even announce his official retirement. He just stopped playing and then
yeah,
just
Mhm.
he packed it up and
he's like,
packed it
I'm a
up
free
and went
agent
home.
anyway, so whatever.
I mean, that's the case we have with Kershaw too, is he's no longer an active player, but he's suiting up for the United States. If anything, like let this be your official retirement.
Right?
Like,
Right? You just
lace up, put the uniform on, and have that be the
you
last
just
thing you do
he's
for your
just like
baseball career.
I want to grow the baseball in Brazil. Well, it helps if you like step on the field and give them
Yeah.
a chance at winning. Like
Yeah, if you step on the field and you hit a home run that keeps you from getting relegated, like that does a lot more to grow the game than just, not doing that, but whatever.
right.
Um,
I
yeah, I
realized
mean,
after you pointed it out, Jay, that so I do know Bo Takahashi. I know how he pitches. I've watched him pitch for Cebu for a couple years now, and then Vieira is on this
yes.
Brazilian roster for me looking
Mhm.
it over. So that's two guys in NPB that I do know.
Does Vieira is he signed with like you said the Giants? Did he sign with them?
No, he
Or
used to play for the
He
Giants.
used to play for
I
Yomiuri.
believe he is playing in Mexico this season,
Yeah.
which
oh, is
is
he? Okay,
why he's
I
playing.
thought I
Yeah.
heard he was in Japan like working out or something. But like
Oh,
I thought like he
maybe.
was like I thought he was signing a game with an MPB team, but maybe he is in Mexico. But like yeah, there are some familiar names.
Mhm. Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, even Oscar Nakaoshi, he used to play for the Carp. Like he pitched for the Carp for a couple of years, I
oh,
believe.
did he?
He did, yeah, back in like the mid 2010s.
I mean, I remember Vieira being solid for 2 seasons for Yomiuri, and then it just kind of went off the rails. And I think he had an
Yeah,
ERA like over 10, but he
Yeah,
yeah,
did set
I,
the velocity record. I
yeah.
do remember that.
Yeah, I was telling him earlier that like I feel like he's at like his issue is like the fastball is really fast, but it doesn't have much movement. It's so straight that
Hmm.
once hitters kind of get used to seeing it over and over again, it's just like, it's like, oh, okay, this guy isn't like, a mystical figure. We can hit this guy.
Yeah, especially because I don't remember him having any elite like breaking balls or off speed pitches. Like I think he was very much like just let it eat until they hit it kind of.
Yeah,
Uh, Last season, the Marines brought back Tyron Guerrero, the Colombian pitcher. And it was that same thing that seemed to be the staff's pitching coaches like idea was What if we let him throw the straight fastball over and over and over? I
Right?
think at one
I feel
point
like Guerrero's best pitch is like the slider. I'm pretty sure. Like, I
the
feel like
Marines did not think so.
right. Just
I think at one point, like there's a highlight like up on Pacific League, like their YouTube channel where it's like Guerrero throws 15 straight fastballs.
yeah, I feel like he's like the same issue. He's playing for Colombia,
Yeah.
so we'll get to see like how fast like you get to see how fast he throws, and then you look at the right after the tournament, it's going to be like 8.5. Ah, okay. Like,
Yeah, like for me, like to your point, Jeff, I think this team, like I think if you set the pitching up right, like you can probably play Great Britain pretty competitively. Like you start with, maybe Misaki's like your opener or like a 2 inning guy, and he's a fairly hard throwing right-handed pitcher. And then you go throw like Oscar Nakaoshi or uh Hugo Kanabushi, like a really
they
soft
do have
tossing, crafty
they do have
lefty.
like some lefties in the lineup that don't really hit lefties very well, or switch hitters that don't hit them very well. So I feel like a lefty from Brazil, like if you bring like Sawayama out of the pen for a couple innings, could be pretty effective. I think they don't have a lot of like right-handed bats that are like gonna scare them too much. So I feel like lefties could have quite a bit of success for them.
Yeah. All right, why don't we move on to who they're going to be aiming to knock off here in Great Britain? Great Britain's roster, when it was revealed, I laughed a little bit because man, was it different from like Sean Spradling's dream team. I guess like what are your guys' thoughts on Great Britain's roster?
All right, I can go.
Yeah, go
Um,
ahead.
yeah,
My
yeah.
bad, my bad.
Okay, yeah. It's Great Britain's roster is honestly better than it was the last time. I mean, Jazz Chisholm is a pretty big addition, someone that can get hot and he can help carry their offense. And then Harry Ford had a great tournament last time around back, but I mean the pitching staff, I'm just gonna say leaves a lot to be desired. Um,
Yeah.
there's Vance Worley, like I don't think he's pitched professionally in a long time.
Yeah.
So
He
it's
was their he was their U23 pitching coach.
yeah, when this is pitching is like when they were talking about bringing some guys over from NPB, I was just like, okay, this roster could be pretty interesting, and I guess none of them like qualified to make the team or just decided not to play for whatever reason. But yeah, they missed out on some interesting arms and some interesting position players, and like I was surprised someone like Ian Lewis made the team. He's kind of at low level in the minor leagues and hasn't
Yeah.
really had a lot of success. BJ Murray's been kind of up and down, but it's I think not getting Sebastian Walcott really hurt. Like
Yeah, but
yeah,
I
he's
think
out for the season.
yeah, I'm sure it has to do with the injury, right?
Yeah,
Probably.
because he would have been starting shortstop and like a high end prospect like that you could put like in between like Chisholm and Harry Ford and would have made the offense pretty interesting. I think Christian Robinson's a pretty interesting player on the team. He's
Yeah.
missed a ton of time for the obvious reason, and
Mhm.
then so I mean he's had some ups and downs, but he's kind of interesting player. So I mean, they have some interesting pieces. It's just I just don't see how they can pitch enough to threaten, uh, which we'll call Italy and Mexico to really like make them feel like they have a legitimate shot to like lose that
Yeah.
game. But if they got enough offense where they can probably, keep it within a couple runs of those teams. I still don't know how they only gave 2 runs to Mexico in their game last time because I feel like I was like smoke and mirrors but I mean honestly Brendan Beck might be their best pitcher
Yeah, yeah.
and
Nah, Tristan's got it.
Yeah, Tristan's got it.
I think
Uh
Tristan like would be the setup guy I guess but
yeah. I mean, Tristan Beck has started games for the Giants before. I can't imagine the Giants would want him to start. I mean, I don't know. I can't. I'm sure they can't really tell him what to do. So, you could start Tristan Beck maybe. I mean, like the problem with the pitching staff is like they just don't have any left hand. They have one left-handed pitcher, and yeah, you can have like platoon neutral or even like good pitches to left-handed hitters as a right-handed pitcher. That still doesn't make the decision to roster one left-handed pitcher a good decision. Like this team is sorely missing Aroldis Chapman, who is apparently not British enough. And even a guy like Zach Sahosky, I thought Zach Sahosky should be on this roster. Maybe they asked him and his college said no, but he was a guy I thought should have been on this roster. I mean, like the thing is, like they have like some okay pitching options, like Gary Gilhill and Owen Wild. Like those are guys with like arm talent. Jack Seppings, I'm actually a pretty big Jack Seppings fan. I think he's kind of like a explosive, twitchy relief pitcher kind of guy. Um, Even though he doesn't throw like super duper hard. But like, I mean, the thing with Great Britain is like they have some depth and then they also have some like loud tools on the roster. Like they have Michael Peterson who throws like 100 plus miles an hour. They have Harry Ford and Jazz Chisholm, guys who can just, put the ball out of the stadium with the flick of the if they get a hold of one. Um, so because of that, like I kind of think like I could see a world where, like Jeff said, they are playing Great Britain and Mexico, or not Great Britain, Mexico and Italy close because they just are going to put pressure on teams. Because if you remember in 2023, they were a very fast team. Like they were running on the base pass all the time. And I don't think this team is quite as fast as that team was, but they still have guys who can steal bases. So, if they continually put pressure on teams, if they get on the base pass, I could see them playing close games.
It's so strange looking at like a WBC roster and seeing that the primary power threat is Jazz Chisholm.
Yeah.
That's very, very strange because he's such a small guy for the
Yeah.
most part. Like he's maybe 5'10, like 175 pounds, like soaking wet.
Yeah, he's a
And
pretty thin dude.
he's not
because
gonna have like the right field porch in Yankee Stadium to like play into here in Houston.
Yeah, yeah.
but
Unfortunately,
he
the
does have the proper boxes. If he can go the other way, just kind of
yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got,
might be.
minor league legend Trace Thompson still
Oh my
kicking.
God. I did not think Trace Thompson would make the team. He was not especially great, and he's kind of old.
Yeah,
Like Harry
that
Ford's
that home run
solid.
against Adam Wainwright's going to carry him for a while.
Yeah,
I'm for Trace Thompson. He's one of those minor league guys that maybe it comes into play with like his brother like being Clay and all of the fame and money that they've made just from like Clay's legacy with the Warriors. He was one of those guys I'm surprised that never tried to go overseas
mm,
and kind of remake himself either in the KBO or the NPB because he's this relatively solid like power threat for the minor leagues, but he's never been known to play his position well. He's never been terribly fast. He just bounced from organization to organization. And the only thing that was a sure thing was, oh, he'd get you a couple home runs,
yeah,
no
yeah. He
matter where
does
he went.
kind. He
It's
does kind
funny.
of feel like an MPB guy.
He's very like smooth, like in how he moves when he's like at the plate. I feel like he's pretty smooth, and he's always like he feels like a natural talent, but it's never clicked
Mhm.
on on a full level. And it's like because like when he connects on a home run, it's like wow, that's a really beautiful swing. But then then he misses a breaking ball by a foot, and it's like oh okay, I get it now.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of surprised that they didn't like I thought they would have tried to get a couple more guys from their Euros roster or their U23 roster because like I mentioned Zach Sahoski, but like I thought like Wallace Clark and Jamie Quinn Irons, like those are two guys who played pretty well at the U23 World Cup in 2024, who played pretty well at college and were drafted. And then I believe James Quinn Irons, I keep forgetting like what to call him, but he played pretty well in like single A with the Rays when after he was drafted. So he was a guy I thought might have made the team. Um, and then Alex Webb. He's not on the team, but he pitched pretty well at the Euros. But he's been out of baseball, I think, for a while, like out of pro ball. So I don't know. There's some interesting, decisions with the roster construction. I forgot to say Nate Eaton is on this team, and he is like a major leaguer now. So with the Red
Yeah,
Sox.
yeah. When I saw his name, I was just like, wow, I had no idea he was British.
Yeah, 105 OPS plus and 80 MLB at bats. So, that's something. I know they were talking to Caleb Durbin about playing like of the
Yeah, yeah,
Brewers,
yeah.
and he's not here. He would have helped them out a lot too.
I feel like that's what you get on like these, not to use the term insultingly, like these like bottom half like WBC roster guys where you're going, "Oh, I didn't know he was insert nation."
Yeah.
Yeah, I also feel like I think it's just kind of like we're seeing it be par for the course with like the building of these like heritage teams. you
Mhm.
know, Great Britain, a team in Pool D that should not be named.
Mhm.
To a lesser extent, I would say, a significantly lesser extent, Italy, because Italy has legitimately gotten some very talented players this go around. But like the problem when you construct rosters like this with guys who aren't like actually from your country, it's just like you're not gonna get all of them, and you're not because clearly it doesn't mean enough to a lot of them to play on these teams when push comes to shove, like it does for like Nicaragua or like you
Mhm.
know Nicaragua, Colombia, like these teams that are like 100% like guys from this country, like they're clamoring to play for their national team for the most
Yeah, I mean,
part.
when you think about it, it all comes down to like actual national pride, and I mean, the majority of these guys have probably never picked up a Union Jack in their life.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, not to
I
say
think
like it's a bad like the team is not talented. Like we were talking about, there's talent on this team.
Yeah.
I think for Great Britain it's a little unique because they just don't have players back home that can
Yeah,
really step into
Mhm.
these roles, you know. But Italy, where it's like, I look at it and it's like, do you want like if a guy is a fringe roster player, he's not a major leaguer, he's probably not going to make a huge difference. I would rather take the player who plays back home, who's been developed in the system, and you can kind of bring him in and you know he wants to be there bad and like
Yeah.
this is the thing he wants more than anything and then it gets like and then like people back home where it's like if like an Italian person wants to get into baseball and he sees a roster and it's almost entirely like American or Venezuelan
Mhm.
players it's like okay well this doesn't really represent us like
yeah,
because it's like it feels more like we're just like America number two or number three like it's not like for us necessarily. So I
yeah,
feel like if it's a difference between it's like like a Vinny Pasquantino versus like an Adam Ottavino where it's like he's done with baseball pretty much
yeah,
and
yeah,
he struggled at the end. He's not a major league caliber player anymore. Like, would you rather have that or like Mattia Aldegheri, who he comes to every single tournament for Italy. He
Mhm.
comes to all the training camps. He never misses a chance to represent Italy, and he has decent stuff. So it's like I feel like there's too much where it's just like, oh well, we need to stay in the tournament. Like you're not going to lose to Brazil.
Yeah.
Okay. Like
Like
I don't like
the
if you have more 4 or 5 more Italian based players, like give them like give the players there something to shoot for. Like
yeah,
they
Yeah.
see the possibility that they can be on the team. They can represent at the highest level and they're not going to be passed over because well they didn't get signed or drafted like way back when and just hanging around till the very end, like give them an actual opportunity. And it's like, well, we might not make the quarterfinals. Well, you develop, like actually
Yeah.
focus on honing that in. And in a decade, all of a sudden you got a roster 20 some players born in Italy that are representing like actual like domestic league filled with Italian players.
Yeah.
Should we move to Italy?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a good transition sort of into Italy. Um, because a funny thing about that is there's a Brazilian fan who was complaining about Italy, their loose, citizenship eligibility rules and them getting to use their old eligibility rules for this tournament. And I'm like, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, man. Even if this was an entirely Series A team, like if this was the Euros team, they'd still beat Brazil, like pretty easily, I think. Or maybe not pretty easily, but they'd still probably
It'd
beat
be it'd
Brazil.
be it'd be close, but like you would still have like Samuel Aldegheri starting against
Yeah,
Brazil, and like that he's better than anyone that they saw in the qualifiers. So, I feel like they would probably still be okay. But it's but none of the recently signed Italian players are on the team.
yeah. The fact that they weren't on the DPP to me means that they were not made available or were not interested in it just because they just got signed, which sucks because I really, really, really wanted to see Ettore Giulianelli throw a screwball to Aaron Judge. But I guess it kind of makes sense because ostensibly they're having to move all their shit to where they're going to be going and go to camp. So whatever.
Mm.
But like you were saying, Jeff, like I look at like a Matt Festa. I look at like an Adam Ottavino. I look at like a Dylan DeLucia, and I'm like, okay, this could have been Ettore Giulianelli, Niccolo Panazzi, and Matteo Bocchi. Um, Especially like Adam Ottavino. I'm like, that could have been Matteo Bocchi. I don't think there's any reason to pick Ottavino over Bocchi at this point in his career. Matteo Bocchi, who is too busy looking at raccoons in a dumpster in Florida to than pitching his bullpens or
I
whatever.
gotta know what the reference is here. Did this actually happen?
Yes, he posted on his Instagram story him just like taking a video of raccoons in a dumpster in Florida near their training campsite, and
Oh wow.
I'm so glad this is what's
Honestly, I feel like
the priority.
going from Italy to Florida is like a pretty substantial like difference. Like it's just like you don't know what the hell is gonna crawl out or something in
Yeah.
Florida. Like
Yeah, and that's something I think. Well, Mitoyo Boki, he's a fun pitcher to watch. He's also seemingly a fun guy, and he's a great Instagram follow because his stories are rarely like his Instagram stories rarely about baseball. Usually, it's just him doing like random bullshit. Like half of his stories this off season were him just like being in the middle of the Sahara Desert on vacation, and it's like I joke with Kick Dirt Baseball. I'm like, what else? Whatever else is going on in Italian baseball, and then there's the Matteo Bocchi subplot of whatever he's doing. Um,
oh, wow.
but I mean, like this Italy roster, like it's really solid. Like especially with Mexico being as depleted as it is, like I can put like you throw Aaron Nola out against Mexico. I feel pretty good about their chances of beating Mexico.
Honestly, I picked Italy to make the quarterfinals originally, and it's like you'd be shocked at how many Mexican people were telling me that I know the fuck I'm talking about, that I'm
Yeah,
an idiot. Like I just was like, don't ever make predictions again. Like, it's just like I was just like, okay, well, it looks better now. That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah,
Like,
for sure. And I really like Sean Spradling's theory that part of the reason they built the team like this with so many young players is to grandfather them all in to playing for Italy in the World Baseball Classic, assuming the Italian government doesn't change their citizenship by descent laws back to what they were. Um, so that explains like to me like the Dante Nori, the um,
well, but they could just be sticking with the original rules though. That when they created the tournament, and they're just gonna keep it like that. Like,
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'm like,
Well,
it's the least transparent organization maybe of all time.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
they don't explain anything or give you any idea about the process. So you're pretty much just guessing. It's just like, trying to give an educated opinion, and then they're just like, yeah, we'll let you know, like never, pretty much. So
Yeah, no, never. Jeff, like, who are some of the players on this Italy team you're excited to watch or you think could be impact?
uh some of the exciting players, I think, here, let me pull up the roster up in a second.
And same for you, Darian. Is there anyone here that you recognize and are excited to watch play?
Name that jumps out immediately is Kyle Teal,
For sure. Sorry, I
just
think
because
you
I know
mean
that he's a
by his
highly
maiden.
touted catching prospect.
I think by his mother's maiden name, you mean Kyle Labuti.
Oh yeah.
If I recall correctly, I think the first time I was introduced to Kyle Teal was last year, during like the spring training like scrimmages,
Mhm.
and Kyle Teal hit a bomb off Roki Sasaki
Yeah.
in a like a White Sox and Dodgers like scrimmage of some kind.
Mhm.
But I
Yeah.
know he's got a lot of pop. I know that the eggs in the basket that the White Sox are doing with building like with all their prospects that they're kind of building around the plate with Teal being the number one guy.
Yeah.
So that's something exciting to see. I recognize John Birdie's name. I don't really know what John Birdie does. I know that he was part of the Cubs roster last year. I think he's just kind of a utility man.
Mhm.
Pasquantino and Caglione from I know both of them from the Royals, I believe,
Yeah. Yeah.
if I remember correctly. I know they're two solid bats. It, Caglione's the young prospect that the Royals are hoping turns into the next big thing.
Yeah.
Dom Canzone from the Mariners um, can look like the greatest undiscovered power hitter you've ever seen, and a double A bat at the exact same time, uh, sitting in right field and DH when he's with the Mariners. What else we got here?
Yeah, I like Ron Marinaccio. I think and Alec Jacob. Yeah, I think I've seen that they do have some good stuff. I guess I guess a
Is
concern I have with this roster, and Jeff, feel free to add in, is like with the pitching, yeah, it's a lot of like MLB guys, MLB-ish guys, but like there's not really guys here who have really loud stuff, I feel like. Like, I mean, like I feel like
I think the
I
best way to describe them as is serviceable.
yeah,
Like
serviceable.
they're not they're not guys who are like they're not guys that you throw out there and you're just like, okay, he's gonna shut this lineup down. It's more just like, let's see how it goes. Like, we're just playing it by ear. Because I mean, I think like they have a lot of guys who sit in like the low 90s. Maybe they get up to 93, 94, but they're not guys who are overpowering. They're not guys that are gonna wow you on the mound. I mean, Michael Lorenzen is like okay,
Yeah,
but he's not like
a
you know
serviceable MLB starter.
he is a
yeah,
serviceable
it's
MLB
like he's
starter.
he's
Threw a
not
no hitter once.
Yeah, he did. Forgot about that.
so it's like they if Aaron Nola isn't the Aaron Nola that he was a couple years ago, he's kind of like he is the ace. So if he's not carrying that pitching staff, it's like there's some question marks. And like they have some good relievers, but they're not, it's not like some of the other like it's not like Mexico has, Andres Munoz.
Yeah, right. It's like
He's
who
shoving
is
it down
this?
your throat at like 102. Like they don't have those type of relievers. So they're more relying on okay pitching and then power offensively. And I mean, like I think like I really like a lot of the pieces offensively. Like Kyle Teal, he could have a big tournament. Like it's been mentioned, Sam Antonacci, he had a really good season in 2025, and like in his second year in the minors, and then Andrew Fisher is an interesting piece. And I honestly, I'm probably the only one outside of his family looking forward to him playing. But Gio Canino Saracena is pretty interesting. Venezuelan born, and he just like destroyed the Euros. And he had a bum leg too, like almost the
Yeah.
entire tournament. So on like one leg, he's like hitting like 430-foot bombs. So I really want them to actually give him a chance, like
For
to get
sure.
some bats because like no offense to some of the other guys like John Birdie or Zach DiCenzo, like I mean no offense, but like I'm not sure these guys are the caliber of hitters that like have to be in the lineup. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I'd much rather give like a young guy with some power potential a shot, and he might run into one, and then you're just like, okay, this guy should be starting like all the time. So I think offensively they have a lot of really really nice pieces. So I think offense is going to carry them for the most part, and pitching is just be serviceable.
Yeah.
Basically, like if you could be serviceable and you kind of let the offense do their thing, like I feel like getting to the quarterfinals is pretty realistic.
Mhm.
But if the pitching, you know, implodes, which is definitely a possibility, like then they could end up, missing it in Mexico, even with a relatively light hitting offense could get through. But I really like the offense, and that's going to be big. But it was kind of disappointing. Like Sal Frelick didn't come back. Like
Yeah, I don't know
that would have been a
what's
nice
up with
addition to
him.
the outfields.
I
But
I I thought like if they I know they were trying to get Roman Anthony and he goes to play for USA instead, but like if they had gotten like Sal Frelick and Roman Anthony, I'd be all in on this team.
oh
I would
yeah,
be like
Roman
this
Anthony
team,
was Roman Anthony was gonna focus on spring training,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then
Focus
Mark
on spring
DeRosa calls, and he's
training.
like, "Whoa, whoa, this is my dream." Like,
Yeah,
never mind.
yeah. Yeah, like Vinny Pasquantino was blowing up his phone and he was like, I gotta focus on spring training. The second Dero calls him, he's like, I'm all in. Like, get me on Team USA.
I'd
Yeah.
be so salty if I was Vinny Pasquantino. I was like, "Oh, okay, okay." So you just want to make sure you're healthy for the season.
Yeah,
But as soon as
yeah.
Mark DeRosa calls, it's just like, "What do you mean? I'm healthy right now. I'm good to
And
go."
knowing Vinny Pasquantino, I feel like he's the kind of guy who would probably actually like say that publicly. All right. So why don't we move on to the next team in this pool in Mexico? Please, I need your guys' help with them because I am not super familiar with the Mexican roster. I mean, there's some guys I recognize, like obviously that some MFer named Randy and Javier Assad, one of my fantasy players from last year. But really, there's a lot of guys I don't recognize.
I mean, are any of these guys accurate, up to date with everybody we just lost this morning?
Yeah. So who did Team Mexico lose today?
They
Uh,
lost Ramon Urias. He's gone. I think it was yesterday, but they haven't updated it yet. And then they lost Tosh Bradley. He
that's tough.
Yeah, they lost Tosh Bradley. I don't know if they replaced him. They might have. I didn't see the name of the replacement, but it's yeah. I think one of the guys I'm really looking forward to watching for them is Sammy Natera Jr. Like he's kind of up and down in Double A, but it's a lefty that can rush it up at like 96, 97 out of the bullpen, and he's when he's on, he's really hard to hit. He just sometimes doesn't always, command the zone. So I think it's gonna be interesting to see if he can do that. I mean, the rotation, I'm gonna be honest, once you get beyond Javier Assad, you're basically praying. Like uh, it's because Taiwan
Nah,
Walker,
man, Taiwan Walker's gonna carry.
right, the guy that's been like very unreliable in recent years in MLB, and then Brennan Bernardino, I guess, might start for them. Um, but it's kind of stretching it kind of thin there. So I mean, you got like Nick Gonzalez, Joey Ortiz, Luis Urias. I think you're kind of a lot of these guys aren't guys who've proven they can hit at the big league level, but like Joey Ortiz is just a really good defender. Jared Serna struggled in the minors, but then absolutely killed it in the Winter League in Mexico. So that's why he's on the team, and I really like watching, Alejandro Osuna, just really talented defensively, fast, and then I like to see Julian or Ornelas make the team because he's been one of the best hitters in Mexico for years, but never was getting an opportunity to play on their WBC team. So it was interesting that they actually like reached out to him, but they reached out to him. But I did like that his brother wanted to play, but the Padres wanted him in spring training to earn a job, and then they designated him for assignment after the rosters were announced. I was like, that's cold
I mean,
blooded right
maybe he
there,
gets in as a replacement now.
Yeah,
right?
right.
They lost Menezes this morning as well, did they not?
Oh, did they? I didn't see that. Well, I guess to focus on the season. I guess I didn't even see that.
Let me
Oh
take a look.
man.
I've got to
You have to
search the
like
tweet.
constantly look out for things because it changes by the minute.
It
Yeah.
really does. I feel like that's been the most unfortunate reality of this tournament now is that it seems like announced rosters are never finalized with all the issues that the tournament has had with insurance, all the issues it's had with teams kind of, rubbing an elbow into the side of a player and being like, "Oh, well you need to be here to compete for your roster spot." I feel like teams were a lot more open about players being in the tournament in 2023 than they are this year.
Hmm.
I think for Mexico, they have a lot more guys than last time that have to be in camp, that are like in camp fighting for a job. I feel like there's a lot more established major leaguers that were still like like Joey Meneses was like at that point, right, where he was like counted on as a major leaguer with the Nationals at that point. And then he had his bad season and they just kind of were like, just let him go pretty much. But I think they have more guys that are fringe roster players this time around. So I feel like it's more
Yeah.
exaggerated with them. But I do like that, like with like Taiwan, like the players don't even like consider staying in spring training. Like Howie
Mhm.
D is like a fringe potential major leaguer for the to start opening day, and it was I think his quote like a couple months ago was hilarious because they asked him about well what if your team says no, and he says well they have to let us go. Like it wasn't even like a there wasn't even like a consideration that they could that he needed to seek approval. He was just like, "Well, I'm going, so whatever." And
Okay,
so I
so
think
so it's Bradley, Urquidy, Cody Ponce, Aaron Sanchez, Roman Urias, and it was Paredes, not
yes,
Menez.
yeah, Isak Paredes. He didn't get insurance. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like they're just getting killed with players stepping aside or not getting insurance, and it's a shame because I feel like they were one of the nations who gained so much more popularity with their national team
Mm-hmm.
in
Yeah.
2023 because I feel like the attendance in like Mexico went up after the tournament and they were all of a sudden like fans were just like counting down to the next tournament and it was like because the soccer team's just a colossal disappointment basically all the time. So it's like finally we have someone who gets it done, and they were so close. Like they legitimately could have won the title if they got passed
Yeah.
by Japan in that game. That was just like a 50-50 like proposition basically in that game. So it was nice to see another nation really pick up interest because like baseball has such a big tradition in Mexico,
Yeah.
but for a while there it was kind of trending downward, and then more interest picked up, and then now it's just like, yeah, well, we're just gonna totally fuck you guys over with insurance left and right, and guys not getting, and guys staying in spring training. It's just like it kind of just ruins the vibe for them, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like it sucks. And that's why like I have people who like constantly like send me like tweets. Basically, they're like, you know, who defend MLB for some reason all the
Yeah.
time. Like I got to a point now where I'm just like responding to them like you don't know what you're talking about. Like this is this is ridiculous because like I've always like this. I don't like having the WBC in spring training. I know some people are like, yeah, it's the only time to have it and it's fun, but I'm like, why are we allowing nations to just get crushed with players pulling out in
Mm-hmm.
like because I don't blame a player for passing because they get pressured or they're worried about their job. Like I like the dream for them is to be in MLB. It's not to be in AAA. And so I mean, I guess you can criticize them a little bit for it because it's just like you still have a chance, but I mean, there's just kind of like a big pull of being on their opening day. So I mean, asking a player to be like potentially sacrifice that, I think is like it sucks for them. It's like why are we putting players in positions where they have to make that choice?
Yeah.
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 Like
If it
like
was in the middle of the season, for instance, it's like,
yeah,
okay, well,
like it's like it's like you can make it work. The WBC is 13 days, and that's with players traveling back from Japan, to the US. Like you can make it work. It's just, do you have the commitment from the owners and the
Mhm.
MLBPA to make it work? And
Yeah.
there's not that commitment because and it's like it's worse this time than ever before. Like I can't remember this many players dropping out for
Yeah.
like a myriad of issues like this. This is like crazy. Like every team but the US, Japan, Dominican Republic is just getting crushed with
Yeah.
players dropping. And obviously you got like Taiwan too, but even Korea's had a ton of injuries, so they're
Mhm.
getting hit hard too. So it's like if you're not getting the best version of the WBC, even with I can understand some guys passing, but you're not getting the best version even with the guys who want to play. Like the goal was always get all these stars that want to play, and they're like screaming, "Oh, I want to play!" It's like, oh, but like, remember when you pulled that hamstring last year and you're totally healthy right now? Well, can't play.
Yeah.
And it's just like I feel like it just does a disservice. And there's so much momentum after 2023. Like how many
Mhm.
times have they played the Otani Trout clip? Like they just farm
Yeah.
engagement off that all day,
And Trout's not
Even
even playing.
right?
Otani himself farmed that like the other day in the interview, and they were like, "Are you gonna pitch? Is Mike Trout playing?"
Right?
Yeah. And then it's just like, okay, so and then we also lose momentum with the stupid friggin' Nike uniforms with the templates
Yeah.
instead
Mhm.
of having
I
teams.
like I feel like teams should just be able to just have their own style that they want on the jersey because it's like Puerto Rico was very heritage based. It was
Yeah.
very
Mhm.
celebrating like celebrating Puerto Rico, and now it's just like stale and boring, and
Yeah.
it's and
The,
it's funny. It's like they want to sell jerseys, but they
mhm.
do the most boring, bland design possible. It's like, why would you even want a jersey like that?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like the Netherlands jersey, it's basically the Nike jersey, the home one. All you do is add pinstripes. And it just makes it so much better. And it's like, okay, you can't
Yeah,
add
I love their
pinstripes.
2023 jerseys.
Yeah,
It's
their
a shame
2023 jersey
that,
is so
that they
good.
it's a shame that they weren't that good as a team, but um,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
but
that's what happens when you let Lars Hire start a game.
I do like that, like the core around them is just like older now. Like not a whole lot of players added to the core, just older.
Yeah.
But yeah, but yeah, I just like honestly, it's just so many frustrations. It's like just I feel like it's like international sports is so easy to promote. It's so easy
Right.
Yeah.
to market. It requires basically no brain power whatsoever. And it's just like, ooh, like what if we create a tournament where every team has massive restrictions, every team has players dropping out because of insurance. Like it's not even it's like different if it was like an injury. Like I think fans would be like, oh, it's disappointment. But like imagine telling like a soccer fan who watches the World Cup, yeah, but like insurance didn't cover them from that like, that like quad injury they had last year. Well, are they healthy now? Oh yeah, they're totally healthy. Okay.
Yeah.
He can't go to the World Cup. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. It's
Sorry.
just like well, just like
Wouldn't
that doesn't make sense. It's just like, well, okay, well, what do you want us to do? Get better insurance? Like,
Well, just a question for the two of you, just because we mentioned it earlier. If you had to pick when it would you aim for a November or would you aim for like July?
oh,
I
easily July.
Yeah, I would say July, just because we see what happens in November with the Premier 12, where like every single prospect gets denied or gets told
Mm,
not like doesn't play.
Yeah.
So to me, I just think it would honestly it might be even harder because teams would be like, well, you have all this workload on you, you
Right. Yeah,
know.
yeah. I think July is the best for numerous reasons. I don't think you get any trouble convincing NPB or KBO or CPBL to pause their season because they're just like national team is the most important thing. So I
mhm,
don't think you would have a problem getting them on board. But you think about like in the U.S., so many stadiums are considered iconic. You could have games in Fenway Park, Yankee Stadium, Wrigley Field, all these parks and all these places where where they can just do all their farming engagement and interest on all these stadiums and make and play it up. Like you could play like the US plays their first game on like the 4th of July.
Yeah,
And
right.
Yeah.
yeah, so like it would be so easy. It's just, like it just like you won't have spring training. You don't have players leaving because they're worried that they're not going to get a job in spring training. You're not gonna you're not gonna have pitchers where they're like, oh, where they're not built up. Like they're 100% built up. They're full bore in July.
Hmm.
Like you would have basically no issues. That I mean, obviously, if a player's a free agent, in like 3 or 4 months, whatever, there'll be some player who's just like, oh, I don't want to risk it, but totally
It's a
fine.
contract year. Da, da, da,
Yeah.
Right,
da.
right. But no problem risking it for his MLB team, by the way. And
Yeah.
then so you'd have some of that, but I think the win and the pros will so far outweigh the cons. And then it's like at a time when there's no other major sports going on in the US.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Like the problem is always like WBC is like the height of March Madness. It's crazy. Like all these people are building their time around going to these events, and you're just they're relying more on like Latin American countries and Japan and Korea and Taiwan to really are the ones to drive interest for the tournament. It's just like it just feels like such a missed opportunity to like put it
Yeah.
at like such a busy time of the year. And
Especially I think when you identify like the month of July, like the boys of summer, like
yeah,
kind of thing, where you can easily link in like the summer with the tournament itself, with everybody takes a break. But if you were to do that, hypothetically, if we did move the tournament to July, would you be willing to shrink the pool of teams so that you could make the tournament shorter?
me, I'm the wrong person to ask because this is hell
Yeah,
no.
no. Hell
I'm
no.
like hell no. I'm
Hell no.
I think the problem is I think it can be done. I've thought about this often. You cut out the All-Star game, and if you start the season
Yes.
earlier, you end the season a week later, you basically play the same amount and you're not missing any meaningful amount of time. I mean, you could trim the season ever so slightly, but I think the problem with it all is owners look at July and August as like the big money making months in
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
season, and it's like the WBC's no like guarantee to just be like crazy money maker, so they don't want to do it, and then it's like oddly like MLBPA for some reason is like a big hurdle like
Yeah.
I don't understand why like ask any of like their Asian or Latin American players and they want to play in this, but it's like the American players in MLBPA are just like, oh well, we don't want to do it. Like they're the problem with the insurance because they don't push for like you look at like other leagues that don't make as much money. Like the NHL has their World Cup, the league pays for insurance for every single player.
Mhm.
Like it's not it's they don't go to an insurance company like, oh well like we can't do anything about it. Like you can
Just pay
just
for it.
just take care of it on your own. Like MLB makes crazy money every year. They're not
Yeah.
struggling financially, they can
No.
afford it, they just don't want to.
Yeah.
And it's like doing the bare minimum is not how you sell baseball.
Mhm.
And it's just like I just like think about it like a Dominican Republic United States game at Yankee Stadium. Do you know how packed?
Insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
That'd
my
be so
God.
good.
It would be
Yeah.
packed. Like you're just like a championship game. You're like a Saturday night, and
Puerto
you're
Rico versus anyone at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, yeah, or even
like
or even like at City Field when they used to do like when they were in like Phoenix and then they'd have multiple stadiums for the one
yeah yeah
pool.
yeah. I feel like it would be like you're just like printing money. It would be packed like crazy. Like a Puerto Rico Dominican Republic game in New York too would
Mhm.
be crazy. Like and then I would like I remember like Canada US 2009. packed for the Canada US game. It wasn't packed for any other games, but for that
Yeah.
game it was packed. You could have like Canada hosting US in a game and WBC a game with it being, prime middle of the summer, packed stands. It's like why are it's like I know all they care about is stuffing their own pockets,
Hmm.
but it's like you're even doing that wrong.
Yeah, right.
Like
Our,
it's like okay, you go ahead.
so I was saying, let's move on to the USA, and then why don't we try to wrap this up soon?
Okay.
It's all right.
The underdog of the pool.
Yeah, the underdog of the pool. I
the,
don't even
the
know
Avengers.
how much do you even want to talk about the USA? Like it's
I
all
mean, honestly,
stars at every
it's
position.
yeah, it's let's see, we got I think they got young prospects starting in right fields. Like he might have a good season with the Yankees. It's no, I mean, I'm really like they're gonna win the pool. I mean, I guess there's a chance they could get upset, right? But I think they're strong favorites to win. But I think it's gonna be interesting how they do their lineup for the knockout games. Because personally, Byron Buxton should be the starting center fielder.
Mhm.
Like I know like PCA was he was it was just basically Terminator mode with him when he was trying to face any breaking ball. Like pitchers were treating him like a child up there. So like I'm like I don't really get it if they have him as the full time starter in center field just because he doesn't hit lefties. Really struggled overall. I would figure I'd much rather Byron Buxton because the floor is much higher, and I think the ceiling is honestly higher as a hitter too. And he's still a capable defender. So I think it's mostly just like how they manage the lineup in the knockout games. Because I mean, this is the best team in the tournament, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'll win it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's and I know like
Like, what do they do with
DeRosa like
Anthony?
loves PC.
Like, are they gonna have him
Yeah, I
play the
think he's a starting
outfield?
left fielder as far as I'm
Left
concerned.
fielder, yeah. I guess corner.
Yeah,
Because I've
I
only
mean
seen him. I've only
I
seen
think
him
he's a starting
DH
left
for the
fielder as
Red
far as
Sox.
I think.
um, yeah, I mean he's DH'd. I think he's played right field, so I mean he probably could be fine in the other corner. I like to joke with this team that like the bullpen feels like it was put together by like Twitter pitch plotting accounts. Like it feels like it's made of like guys who they're like, no, like trust like the seam shifted wake on his splitter. He's elite. Look at this. He's like 80 grade. This is the
Right.
zone rating. And it's like,
Pinching Ninja was the consultant on the
yeah, it's like
roster.
okay, like that's great. I kind of just want Josh Hader and like, you know, Devin Williams to be here. But Griffin Jacks is cool, I guess.
Yeah, I
He's
mean
a
Griffin Jacks, I feel like he's like a guy that people think is really good, and then like his numbers, and you're just like, I mean, he's okay. Like it's just like yeah, but like, have you seen his pitch mix and
yeah.
his movement? It's like I care about his results in a short tournament. Like so, I mean like he's gonna they'll have him like whatever like a sword
Mhm.
little gif on Twitter. It's just like oh wow, it must have been great. No, it turns out he gave up 4 runs. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but I
who's
mean,
who's the closer here?
Mason Miller is gonna be
Mason
the closer.
Miller, yeah.
But no, he's converting to a starter for the Padres.
I feel like
No,
that's
no.
probably not gonna happen.
No, they talk. I know what you're talking about. I thought he was gonna do that, but then they went back on that.
I'm gonna go ahead and
Mm.
say that was a bullshit rumor because they were trying to cover up for a terrible trade. So
Yeah, still not over the DeVries trade.
I remember after the trade, they're like, "Oh, he's going to be converting to starter next year. This is a great trade." And it's just like, and then now that he's not converting to a starter, it's just like, yeah, but he's Mason Miller, so you know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Like,
And you're
I,
like, Leo Dallas DeVries is gonna put up like an 8 WAR rookie season.
yeah, I mean, honestly, he's gonna. I feel like he's gonna be really good as a rookie, and it's like you. So let's just get straight. You traded your best prospect for a one inning pitcher. Okay, That's where
Yes.
we're at.
Yeah, yeah. I what do you guys think about the Scooble situation with him pitching one game?
It's annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I already gave my opinion on this is it's weird. It's very weird. I'm
I'd rather not have him
like
Mm.
at that
what
point.
why would he not just pitch in the quarterfinal game or semifinal? Like why would why Great Britain, not even Mexico or Italy in the pool.
Yeah, yeah.
Great Britain, like the team is supposed to go fourth. He's just like, Mexico and Italy. I don't know if my arms warmed up enough for that. Let me face Great Britain. And then
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
3 innings, throw like 35 pitches, and then dip.
Yeah.
It's just, and then he says he might come back for the final as a supporter.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah. I'll just be in the dugout. It's like, what? Yeah.
It
I
is
Not
it
not America's ace Logan Webb. He will die on the
exactly.
hill.
I'm always curious how players like who plan to be there from the beginning to all the way at the end. Like, what do they think of that? Like,
I think Logan Webb literally like he gave an interview where he's like, no, I'm gonna be here for the whole thing. Like he was very pumped up about being there for the whole
The
thing.
goat.
The GOAT! Rockland, California legend.
Rockland
Um,
slash Sacramento's very own.
yeah,
I do.
The
Logan
very
Webb.
best.
I tend to think that like Logan Webb facing Brazil is gonna be a hate crime. Like,
I the thing with like Logan Webb versus Brazil is like Logan Webb, I've seen Logan Webb get BABIP'd to death in the major leagues.
Yes, you have.
So there's like an like and it's not like the Giants have a bad infield defense. Like,
I mean, they might this year.
hey, well, okay, like I'm sure Rafael Devers is going to be a good first baseman. It's really just Luis Ariz.
Yeah.
But like, I could see it. Like they just put the ball in play against him a lot, and like against Germany, they find some holes, and maybe his final line doesn't look that great. Um, but it could also be just like a total war crime. Um,
right?
yeah, I mean, you look. I mean, the starting pitching depth is still pretty good because like Nolan McLean is very talented,
Joe
and
Ryan's having some back tightness. So
yeah, I mean, he hasn't been deconfirmed, so until that happens, you just assume he's going to be there. And then
Boyd,
yeah, Matt Boyd, Mariners and Giants legend.
they're
We
gonna
s-
they're gonna start him against the Dominican Republic in the semifinals. It's gonna be like, oh my god.
oh my, yeah, if they do that, like I have one friend from my work or who I used to know through work who is like a Cubs fan. And when they announced Matt Boyd was on the team, like I sent him like the announcement. I was like, really? Really? Matthew Boyd's on Team USA? And he's like, no, he's a dog, bro. I swear. And I'm like,
He
all
is a
right.
dog, though.
He's I like that he had his best season in like what is he like 34 now?
Yeah,
Like,
something like that.
Mm.
just like I'm just like I just love that pitching once and then leaving for like Paul Skeens and Logan Webb. It's just like, what? No, 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 that's
Yeah.
not.
Paul Skeens is like, I went to the Air Force Academy. I played for the USA at frickin' Honkball Week Harlem. No, I'm gonna make as many starts as I can.
Right. And then I like that when Paul Skeens says he was going to start twice, people are like, oh, he's only going to start twice. I was like, you may not understand how this tournament works.
Yeah, yeah. You don't understand how the pitch counts work in the days.
Right. It's just like,
um,
but
yeah,
That I mean, when you look at the bullpen, like outside of Miller, that's an eclectic mix of random guys.
yeah. Gabe Spire.
Abe Spire
I
giving
really
up bombs in the Mariners postseason run. Brad Keller, who seemingly is now a major league pitcher.
yeah.
Michael
Like
Wacha.
Michael
Uh,
the Michael Waka and what was it? The Michael Waka and Paul Goldschmidt announcements, like with the final Russell reveal, had me laughing. I was like,
I'm,
really?
I'm,
our
After
secret weapon.
yeah, I was
I'm
like,
not gonna
really?
lie.
After all that secrecy as to who the last couple guys would be, it's
It's those
Paul
two.
Goldschmidt and Michael Waka.
I remember
Okay.
when I heard the Paul Goldschmidt announcement, I actually had to read it like about 5 times. I was like, Paul Goldschmidt? Like, Really? That's like you couldn't find any other first baseman? Like
Yeah.
I not gonna lie, I love watching Paul Goldschmidt in his prime, but that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Really, it's
Um,
he don't got much left in the tank.
no.
Like, I mean, you have to assume like Harper's at first, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be
So what's
done.
Paul gonna do? Is Paul the bench bat?
Probably.
I, I mean, I think they'll probably give Bryce Harper like one game off, so probably start Paul Goldschmidt against like Great Britain or something.
Mhm.
But
Hmm.
um, it's yeah, I'm curious on how they manage the lineup, but it's like the bullpen is like Gabe Spire, like you mentioned, like when he's good, he's really good, but when he's not good,
He is
he's
bad.
he's bad. He's real bad.
Yeah. Like I could see them like I could see their bullpen costing them the tournament. Like I could see some of these like I
If
don't know, like you saw some of these like pitch profiler darling pitchers like they pitch really well versus Brazil and Great Britain or something and they're like all right
right,
Dominican Republic up next and they and like Juan Soto just takes
just
them like
wait.
500
It's like a
feet.
4-3 U.S. lead in the eighth inning against the Dominican Republic, and Clayton Kershaw's coming out of the pen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like
Here comes David Bednar, who's never blown a save in his life.
yeah, yeah.
Right?
I
It's
mean,
Um
the depth are like for starting. Like you've got Joe Ryan and Skeens and Webb, and then Scuba for his one game, and then it just kind of really dips into like a little cliff
yeah, it's
there, and
like
then like Miller's there at the end.
yeah, like Nolan McLean has good stuff, but it's like, okay, your other starting options are like Michael Waka, Clay Holmes, and Matthew Boyd. Like, it's not great, but
Garrett Clevenger.
yeah, Clevenger.
I would just like I wanna see the like when they get into the championship round. Like I want to see them try and throw like Paul Skeens like 95 all 95 pitches, like
Yeah,
the Pirates calling the phone
like
in the
stop,
middle of the game.
stop. Yeah, I saw Vic of Box the Base joke that they'll get Logan Webb to like start 3 games or something, and I'm like
Yeah.
Buster Posey would be like pounding on the dugout door with the bat, like
Right?
crying for them to stop.
They're just gonna pull Logan Webb at 49 pitches. Like, he's going to the championship game.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, they might. Like, he literally is just like the Chad innings eater, so he
Mhm.
could,
Right?
but
I mean, he could be like pull the like Koshin esque, like get it out
yeah,
there on back to back days.
yeah, yeah.
Right?
Um,
It's what's funny about like MLB teams that freak out over usage is like the Dodgers literally just tried to break Yamamoto's arm in the World Series. Like it's just like I don't think they should be lecturing anybody. Like
On
he throws like
overusage.
right,
yeah,
he's just like almost throws 100 pitches and then the next day throws again. Like not even the most insane MLB managers would like be okay with that. But you know, but Dave Roberts does it and no one says anything. Like
yeah,
about
Noted
yeah,
baseball
this is like
terrorist Dave
right,
Roberts.
this is
yeah,
like pitcher abuse 101 and it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
oh it's like he was warming up. Tell him to stop. Like what's happening here?
Yeah. Have you considered stopping?
Right? It's just like like Yamamoto wasn't making the pitch decisions. Okay,
It's
that's
literally
your
your
job.
job, buddy.
It's
Who's your four? So Bregman's at
well, if he's
third.
healthy, I think Webb. I go Skeens one, and then Webb two, Ryan three, and then probably McLean four. I would say.
Mm.
Mhm.
And then Bregman's at third. Bobby
Yeah.
Witt's at short.
Yeah,
Yes.
probably was a short, and then second, I mean,
Goner, Bryce Terang.
Nah, Ernie Clement.
yeah, but no,
The greatest hitter in the
I
world.
think probably you have to go with Terang right now just because he had a better season than Gunner last year. But I mean, it feels pretty even
Yeah.
there. I still can't believe they didn't invite Trey Turner back. Like what was
Yeah.
that?
Yeah,
Like
And
he was
I
literally
like
carried last
nuclear
tournament.
last WBC, and then it was one of the best seasons of any infielder and MLB. They're like, yeah, well, we want to go younger, or could just field the best roster you could,
yeah.
like
I
We want to go
also
younger. That's why we invited Paul Goldschmidt.
yeah.
right.
I thought they were planning to ask Matt Chapman. I thought Matt Chapman was going to make the team as like
Why
maybe like
is I just want to know why Nick Kurtz didn't
Hmm. Big
like just
Amish.
one of the best rookie seasons of any first baseman like the history of the game, and they're just like, yeah, well, we kind of want Bryce Harper. Like, no offense, but like Bryce Harper, is he better than Nick Kurtz at this point? Like,
yeah.
He is not.
We want Paul Goldschmidt and not Nick.
right?
All
It's
right.
just strange how Mark DeRosa up.
Yeah, yeah. you know, like I said, the point about the friggin' pitch plotters making the Twitter pitch plotters making the bullpen. I don't really know what's going through Mark DeRosa's head.
Matt
Um,
Holliday's the hitting coach.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, no,
I
like
was a little surprised Jackson Holiday wasn't like on the team because Matt Holiday's the hitting
I feel like
coach.
that might have been even too tough of a sell. It's just like he kind of like wasn't good, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
didn't have a chance to make the playoffs and have even like a clutch moment. So it'd be a hard sell. But I'm sure Matt was just like, wow, you're being biased against my son. He earned a spot.
yeah, yeah. All right, why don't we give our predictions for Pool B and then wrap things up? So, who do you think is going to who do you think are the two teams that are going to advance? Who do you think is going to get relegated, and who is Pool MVP?
U.S. is winning the group, unfortunately. um, I'm really torn, especially with all the withdrawals and insurance denials and like what happens to Mexico here. I would love for them to be the second place team, but I could easily see them in Italy swapping places with all those people out. I want to see Brazil survive so that the game can keep growing, but I feel like they may end up being relegated.
Okay.
Hmm. Uh,
Um, do you have an idea for who do you think might win Pool MVP? It doesn't have to be someone on the USA because it can be literally someone from any team. I'm pretty
Tarek
sure.
Skubal.
Yeah, his one appearance is just so good.
his two innings were just like
Yeah,
blew everyone away.
2 innings, 6 strikeouts, 0 walks.
I mean,
I just
he's
want to see him. I want to see him.
I'm gonna say because he's already been plastered, fucking everywhere. Aaron Judge is the pool MVP.
Yeah, that's probably a safe bet.
I want to see Tarek Skubal throw 2 innings and then go to DeRosa and be like, I'm done.
I'm done. Yeah, that's it. Send Michael Walker out there. I'm done.
I used up all my bullets today.
And
Um,
yeah, Jeff, who do you think? What do you
I'm
think?
thinking U.S. wins the group, and then I'm sticking with my original one where I have Italy moving on. And then I feel like relegation is like probably Brazil, but I think it's gonna be closer than one might think. But I think Great Britain has just enough offense to really squeak through.
Mm.
And pool MVP, I think he loves hitting in Houston, so I'm gonna go with Cal Raleigh.
Okay, yeah, it's a
Mm.
good one. I think
Solid
so.
pick.
Shockingly, I think the USA is going to go 4-0 and win the pool. Um, I am also going to say I think Italy is going to come out of the pool as the second team. And I think Italy is going to ride a very strong Pasquash performance, and Vinny Pasquantino will win the pool MVP. Um, Now, part of me thinks that they're still just going to give it to an American player,
Mm.
like just because it's MLB. I feel like that's probably going to happen. But I'm going to have Pasquash pool MVP, and then um, I I still think Brazil is going to get relegated. But like Jeff said, I think it might be closer than people think.
I think it's interesting because like there's like a community of British baseball fans who get behind the team despite the fact that they're
Yeah,
very very down below most other sports in Great Britain, but it's like you know Brazil though has a team that's almost entirely Brazilian players, so it'd be cool to see them kind of stay up, but
Absolutely.
no, well, I would like. I hope like the next tournament they uh they send Brazil to Japan
yeah.
because
That
I
was
would
great.
in that matchup. Like I want to see like I it's like I tweeted this out like months ago, but like I want to see Peru get really good at baseball and just have like a Peru, Brazil, Japan all meet up,
Yeah, and it's just like all Japanese people
right?
playing.
Just like
The
they're all just
Nikkei
like
series.
Spider-Man
Yeah.
meme, like it's like wow, you guys have my same last name, you look like me, like
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned a Nikkei series because Spanish España softball did a Hispana like Hispanic series between team like this Spanish national softball team and like Mexican teams and like other like Latin American teams in Mexico, which I thought was a kind of a fun concept.
oh, okay, it's just like you speak our language because
Yeah,
we colonized
exactly.
the shit out of you. This is great.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
Um,
our arm of goodwill now that we
yeah.
have.
Right?
It's
Like
like
sorry about that. I was kind
The
of messed up.
Netherlands doing the Kingdom series, right?
Please
um,
forget all the bad stuff.
yes,
Right?
exactly.
It's about
Um,
international baseball brotherhood.
yeah, exactly. All right, well, let's round things up here. Jeff and Darian, let the people know, I guess, just real quickly, what you're going to be up to during the WBC or where they can follow you, Darian.
You can follow me at sage underscore CLM 92 on Instagram if you'd like. Twitter is for the most part just like a retweet, a Marines retweet account now. um, but I'll be planning for every WBC game, um, even though it's slightly looking like we're probably going to end up with the final series that we think we're going to get. Um, and just looking forward to having international baseball back on the menu.
Jeff, I know you've already given the spiel for the first podcast, but
Yeah,
just
first
a
time
yeah,
saying it.
short spiel.
Yeah, yeah. Just follow me on Twitter. I'm never gonna call it X, really. Like, I'm never gonna commit to that. Uh, INTL Baseball 24. I'm looking forward to the WBC, even though, it can be frustrating with all the bad news that's been coming out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the games and not really sleeping at all for a
Hell
while.
yeah.
'Cause I'm like, I just wish we had another pool in Asia, because then
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
like games, like two games on at like 7 o'clock at night, and then I gotta get up at 3 in the morning and watch the next one, and then it goes like because of the difference in Puerto Rico, their games start earlier than
Yeah.
they would normally on like East Coast time. So like I saw 8 a.m. start time for like the first game in Puerto Rico. I'm like, do I even go to sleep? Like
Yeah. I mean, you'll be able to see me and my friend, the El Blanco Niño, Blancos Niños, Los Niños Blancos, waving the Puerto Rican flag or whatever.
are you planning to dye your hair?
Uh,
Like
I'm
like
probably
Ricky
not
Rubio?
gonna dye my hair. I'm already kind of blonde-ish. Sort of.
Oh,
It's like dirty brown blonde.
I haven't even heard that they're doing it this time around. I feel like it might be dispirited from all the
Yeah,
denial.
Yeah.
they've been so just crushed into the ground by the
Like
insurance.
I feel pretty confident it was probably like hobby biases, or like last time around, like he was the one that committed to doing it. I think Carlos Beltran or someone else was like the one pushing for it in 2017, but I feel like they seem a little dispirited. I haven't seen
Yeah,
any mention of it. I'm just like, so it's a week ago, like week to go to the
yeah.
tournament. You gotta
You gotta
dye it.
bleach your hair. Yeah. Although I don't know. I'll talk to my friend I'm going to pool A with, and he has more blonde hair than I do. But if he's like willing to dye his hair even more blonde, then I'd probably do it. I just get back and have to shave all my hair off and go
Just
bald.
dye the scalp blonde.
Yeah. Oh God. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me. We'll see about getting Sean on and combining these, and I have no idea what it's gonna sound like, but hopefully it should be a good time. But yeah, I'm excited to try to watch Pool B on my phone while I'm in San Juan or whatever. It should be a good time. I hope Italy advances. Everyone at home, please Leave a rating if you get this on your podcast feed, or like, comment, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And until next time, so.